Uh, will you please? Thank you. Is it live streaming on YouTube also? So my journey started way back before 2010 when I started learning computer-aided drug designing, and I was very much fascinated. This is because the topic is going to give a lot of things to each and every person on the planet. Because we being the chemists, we are always working for the beneficial of the mankind. We want to make a molecule which is beneficial to the society, and that's why I also entered in the field of drug designing to develop a drug. Initially, I was not knowing, so I took the help of different people in the field. One of my very good friends, you can see here, Dr. Taibi Ben Hadda from Morocco, Dr. Hafid from Morocco, Dr. Pierre Gendre from France, and I don't know who is this man, sorry for this. And then in 2016, I went to Croatia to share my expertise on computer-aided drug designing with Dr. Vesna Rastia and group. So here you can see I'm with different people from the same country, and met Dr. Sonia Nicholas, who is actually working in the field of molecular descriptors. Next, please. And with this journey, now let us begin. So will you please bring down the strip? Okay. So we always wonder what drug means. So when we go in the market, we get the medicine over the counter. The medicine is available, and that medicine contains the main active component, that is called drug, plus a stabilizer, binder, coloring agent, etc. That's the medicine. But the key active compound is called as a drug. Even though the word drug is not famous, more infamous because of narcotic drugs, but we being the chemists, we should understand we are going to have a drug. Okay. So what according to WHO, drug is a single active moiety which is found in medicine, and it is if used for diagnosis, prevention, treatment, cure, we can call it a drug. So any chemical having good purpose, any one of these purpose is a drug. Next please. Obviously, we need to have some drugs in your pocket. So right now, majority of drugs from natural resources. Almost 80% drugs are 80% drugs are natural in origin. The rest, 20% are synthetic in nature. Okay, whenever we use any chemical for curing any disease, it's called chemotherapy. Next, please. Even though the word chemotherapy is mostly associated with cancer, but in reality, whenever we consume any drug for any disease, it's chemotherapy. Next, please. I'm going a little bit speedier. This is because we have to go for the actual training. Now, in case of drug designing, or actually in the field of drug, there are three different words synonymously used, but they are different. The first one is drug discovery. Drug discovery means when you find out the therapeutic or any physiological action of a molecule without knowing it. So all of a sudden, or by accident, to identify a novel aspect of a known molecule. That's called as drug discovery. So the best example is penicillin. We all know that penicillin was accidentally discovered as a drug. It's being an antibacterial in nature. Likewise, another example is aspirin. After the lecture of Dr. Masan, mostly the students consume a lot of aspirin to relieve headache. Okay, so definitely today also you are going to have a bunch of tablets of aspirin to relieve the headache. Remember, but this aspirin is also very good antiplatelet, and it's actually acting as blood thinner and relieves the pressure on your heart. So it's good for heart patient. So this is called a drug discovery. Okay, next please. And the next word is drug designing. So drug designing is more purposeful word. You are designing or modifying the desired molecule with appropriate admit properties, appropriate action. What this admit means: absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion, and toxicity. So obviously, any molecule should have minimum toxicity and appropriate absorption in human body, then correct distribution, then perfect metabolism, and then followed by this is excretion. So all these parameters to be tuned to get a drug. So if you want to have any molecule in your hand as a drug, you'll have to test the ADME, that is admit properties of the molecule. Today we will learn this technique of admit. Okay. Next, please. Third word is self-explanatory, that is called drug delivery. The word itself is saying that it is related to delivery of a drug inside the human body. Mostly starch or gelatin is used for this purpose. This is being done by the pharmacist and it's not our job. As a chemist, our job is to deal with drug discovery and designing. Okay. And the combined name, next please. And the combined word for this is drug development. So next please, Dr. Ingrid. Under the head drug development, these three words are commonly used. So be careful which word you are actually using while talking with someone in the word. Okay, next please. Okay, so let's start with the conventional procedure used in developing countries. Okay, what we do, we being the chemist, we just synthesize some molecule, and after synthesizing the molecule, we go for generally the biological testing. In biological testing, what we find, obviously, three type of molecules: very active, moderately active, and least active. This is genuine. This is going to be the only option, no other option. So some molecules are found to be more active. We call them as highly active molecule. We select them for further synthesis, further optimization. This is genuine procedure. So once again, we go for synthesis of new derivatives of most active molecule. Again, we go for testing. Again, we find three types of molecule: most active, moderately active, and least active. This is bound to happen. And then once again, we select one more active molecule. Then again, go for more derivatives, and again more testing. So this endless circle of synthesis and testing will continue. We'll have to stop somewhere. Okay, because somewhere the cost is actually increasing. That's why traditional or conventional process is very costly with a huge investment in the range of 600 to 800 million dollars. US million dollars are actually terms we are using, and it almost takes 10 to 15 years to launch a drug in the market. Most of the time, it consumes a lot of time, chemicals, and other resources, and that's why it is slower, frustrating, lower successes. Do you agree? Obviously, it's going to be because a lot of synthesis and testing is involved. It will take time and other resources. And that's why, let's move ahead. We'll have to prepare a library of some molecule. Do not synthesize hundreds and thousands of molecules. Prepare very few dozens of molecules, then select and then go ahead. So this type of process should be adopted very carefully. Next, please. Next. And this is because, again, remember, when you have to synthesize and do everything, it could be very frustrating. Okay. But this is genuine procedure right now being followed worldwide. Next, please. So this is the de novo drug discovery and development whole timeline procedure. It starts with the basic study, then we go for drug designing, then experimental in vitro is done, experimental in vivo, then phase 1 clinical to phase 3 clinical trials are executed, and finally it takes about 1 to 2 years for drug registration. So from basic study to experimental in vitro and vivo, 4 to 8 years are required, and clinical trials, they require 5 to 7 years. So long journey. Here, remember that we being the chemist, we can work from basic study to experimental vivo. These 4 stages. Here we have to play a crucial role. We have to minimize the timeline required for this, and then obviously clinical trials, they cannot be minimized. Then you need to give 5 to 7 years for this. Okay, let's move ahead. Next, please. This is the genuine case. We do this. Next, please. So whenever we have a molecule, the whole molecule is not going to be active. Only part of a molecule is active. That active functional group responsible for the physiological or biological action is called as pharmacophore. We know about the words like chromophore, oxochrome, these types of terminology here. Likewise, we have pharmacophore, a group responsible for pharmacological action. This next, please. And it could be any atom or a group of atom or anything else. For example, in case of phenol, we know that it is very dangerous to human body. Even a single touch is very dangerous. Okay, it's got blisters. And another molecule, benzoic acid, is at all harmless to human body. Okay, so if you touch benzoic acid, nothing will happen. You should not do this. But both are one is very toxic, very dangerous. Another is less toxic. And their combination, we call it as salicylic acid or 2-hydroxybenzoic acid. This is a drug and it is responsible for actual relief from the headache. So now this salicylic acid contains phenolic OH and the aromatic carboxylic acid group. The combination is responsible for making this a drug. But when you consume salicylic acid directly, you will be in danger, grave danger. It's very poisonous. Okay. So what we chemists did next, please. We did something magical. The phenolic OH is responsible for this toxic effect. So we protected it. Protected means we actually did acetylation of this moiety. So we call the acetyl derivative of salicylic acid, commonly known as aspirin. So aspirin is in chemical terminology protected form of salicylic acid. So it is now it can go in our body. The hydrolysis enzymes will hydrolyze it and they will release slowly salicylic acid. As salicylic acid is slowly released in the body, it's not going to be dangerous to you. Okay, so it's one of the best ways. So this molecule aspirin is very active. Okay, so we have to create this type of molecule, but for this you need to identify the pharmacophore groups, and for this today we will perform pharmacophore modeling. That is one of the easiest method available. Next, please. So we need to start from somewhere because we just start because this chemical is available, that chemical is available, I can do this type of reaction. So we'll start with something. So whenever we start, there are some guidelines given by Dr. Weber, a famous lady in the field of drug designing. She formulated the rule of three. Now we also call this Opera's rule. The name of Dr. Opera, she actually formulated. She analyzed 2100 marketed drugs and clinical trial candidates and formulated that if you want to start, try to keep the molecular weight of the substance close to 300 or below 300. That's a good point to start. Then, second aspect, try to keep the lipophilicity, which is represented by log P, close to 3 or below 3. That's a good thing. This is because lipophilicity is a crucial aspect for drug designing. And in the molecule, there should be adequate number of rotatable bonds, preferably 3 or less than 3. Hydrogen bond donor and acceptor should be below or equal to 3. And the polar surface area should be close to 60 angstrom units square. Now, all these factors being the multiple of 3, that's why called Opera's rule of 3. And remember, my friend, this polar surface area is given by or actually calculated by the software which we will perform today. Okay, so you can understand whether your molecule is a very good lead compound or it's going to be a raw material or useless molecule. Okay. So this is called lead likeness, or we call it lower boundary for starting. Now you start with a molecule and then definitely you have to stop somewhere, upper boundary. So for upper boundary, we have another rule by another scientist is called as Lipinski's rule of 5. Next, please. What is this Lipinski's rule of 5? We call it as properties for drug likeness. Earlier was lead likeness, and this one is drug likeness. There is a difference. Lead means a molecule with certain desired pharmacological action. Some properties are present in it, but it is not a drug. You'll have to modify it, you'll have to optimize it, and you'll get a drug. Okay. So according to Lipinski, the rule of 5, try to keep the molecular below 500 because most of the toxic drugs have molecular weight more than 500. But this doesn't mean as soon as the molecular weight is 502 or 503, it is toxic. This is not. This is just a guideline. They're just saying that try to keep it in the range of 500 because certain drugs are in the market whose molecular weight is more than 600. But one of the factors which increases toxicity is associated with molecular weight. So that's why in future we'll keep it as low as possible, preferably below 500. Again, the lipophilicity or log P, which is actually calculated by the software, and it deals with the lipophilic character, should be kept below 5. So we have the lower boundary of 3 and the upper boundary of 5 for log P. This is very interesting. Now I know I have to play between these things. Okay. So lipophilicity, which is a factor related to lipophilic character, which tells you whether the molecule is more water loving or less water loving. Because in human body, we have two different compartments. The cytoplasm in human cell is more water and the cell wall is more lipid in nature. That's why a drug will have to travel through the lipid layer, that is cell wall, the cytoplasm, then again cell wall, again cytoplasm. So for this distribution journey, it should have appropriate log P. That's why it is said, try to keep the log P in the range 3 to 5. Then you can get a good drug. Okay. Likewise, for number of rotatable bonds, single bond, it should be 5. Hydrogen bond donors and acceptor in the range of 5. Last is polar surface area. It is required in the range of 150 angstrom unit square. And once again, we are going to get it with the help of computer. So obviously, who is going to help me throughout my work? It is the computer. So my friend, okay, remember, whenever we work, computer is going to give you a lot of data, information, and ideas. Next, please. Now let's go ahead. Next. Now, whenever we do drug designing, obviously some factors are there which we can control and some are which we cannot. The first one is medicinal objective. Medicinal object means whether you are designing a drug for bacteria or the virus or for tuberculosis or for AIDS or for corona. What is your objective? Because certain rules and regulations which you formulate and use for one disease are not applicable to others. Remember. So today whatever we'll do, that will be very specific in nature. If I want to apply the rules of bacteria to fungus, then you will completely fail. So your medicinal objective must be completely clear. Second is ability of chemist. Obviously, this is very crucial. This is because we, being the chemist, we must be able to synthesize that molecule correctly, purify it, characterize it, and then go for biological testing. That's why the third factor introduces, that is called screening facilities. If you want to suppose, prepare or manufacture a drug for tuberculosis and none of your friend or collaborator has having any experience of tuberculosis testing, then you are in big trouble. Okay, so that's why screening facility is major factor. Then developmental facilities, other infrastructure is also obviously required for drug designing. And this is the biggest hurdle right now for all academia, that is the cost of drug designing. So we need a good hefty amount of money to start drug designing. Obviously, you need to purchase chemical, you need to have characterization, spectral identity, and then biological. Everything is done by money. So money matters a lot in drug designing. So next, go ahead. That's why instead of going for thousands of molecules, you have to go for the hits. Hit means a molecule with some desired properties. We cannot go for hundreds and thousands of molecules. What we will do, we will carefully select few hits molecule. It means which has been identified through certain procedure, certain practice. And in general, we use molecular docking, pharmacophore modeling, and QSR to identify these hits. We synthesize them and then we go ahead. Then the chances of getting a drug in lesser time with a smaller cost is also possible. Let's go ahead, please. So obviously, this is going to be the next part of the day. Today on all the news channels, this will be the breaking news. That all the participants are now eager to learn what is the next part. Sir, please go ahead. So we'll start with QSR. Today we'll perform QSR. Okay. Let's go ahead. QSR is quantitative structure. I'll tell you what is this. Okay, next please. So before starting this, earlier in the morning, we actually listen to different topics, different lectures by different experts. Those were related to different topics. One of them was on computer-aided drug design. So what is your opinion about computer-aided drug designing? Whether it is theoretical or it is practical? All the participants, what is your opinion? Back. Computer aided, is it theoretical or practical? Your idea, please. Those who are sitting offline. Practical. Those who are in the favor of practical, please raise your hand. Very few, very few. That means others are on the other side, that is, it is theoretical. Okay, but to be truthful, let me tell you, it's we need to clear. Next, please. Okay, so I can say you have understood computer aided drug design in wrong way. Your perception is completely wrong. It's not theoretical at all. No way. It's not possible. You cannot do anything in theory. You need a drug in practice. Am I correct? So you have to start from the practical, start from the practice, and you end at the practical. Okay, so everything should be practical in nature. Because theoretical means it is hypothetical, nowhere in existence anywhere. It's not practicized. Practical means which is practiced regularly, has certain rules and regulations. Then it is practical. Okay, so let's go ahead. Next. So that's why I have one animation from you, because some people are still surprised that it is not theoretical. How it is possible? Here is the reason. In case of QSR or in drug designing, what we do, that we always start with the collection of experimental biological activity. That means the data which we are going to use for the molecule, whether it is IC50, EC50, what happened to this one? Boy. So IC50, EC50, LD50 or KD, all these are experimentally determined for a molecule. So we are beginning the data, and data is realistic. The molecule which we are going to use as a starting material for our analysis, or the molecules which are called as congeneric molecule, they have been synthesized. So whatever we molecules are using, they are reported. Reported means they have been synthesized in the laboratory, they have been biologically tested. Okay, so complete characterization, spectral characterization has been done. So that's why we are going for experimental data. So the whole technique starts with experimental data, reported molecules having known structure, and their spectral characterization has been done. What we are doing, we are actually comparing their biological activity with one another to find out the reasons for difference in their activity. Some molecules have high activity, others have low activity. So we are actually identifying the reasons. After identifying the reasons, we go for validating the all analysis using statistical technique. And for this whole procedure of drug designing, we use OECD guidelines, internationally recognized, and all these bodies are there. They have developed certain guidelines. That's why we say it is practice and it's not theoretical at all. Next. Yeah. So in short, the experimental part has been accomplished in advance. Now QSR analysis is being done for experimental data to identify the reason for biological activity of the molecule. That's why one famous line is there. You can understand. Some people got it very, very clearly. I can see the smiling faces there. Did you get it? Okay, shall I move ahead? Let's move ahead. So why we need QSR and such techniques? Obviously, if you want to synthesize molecules, you need to synthesize not few dozen. We need to synthesize hundreds and thousands of molecules to achieve a target. To minimize this synthesis, we do QSR, and that's why this QSR is faster, cheaper, less effort, easier. It saves chemical, researchers, and tools, and obviously it decreases pollution because we are minimizing the use of chemicals. Okay, that's why it is pollution free also. Next one. So what actually is QSR? QSR is a technique, multivariate technique. Multivariate means we feel that biological activity is varying with so many factors. Not one factor cannot control the whole biological activity. Multiple factors they are governing the biological activity. That's why we call it multivariate technique. Second, it is to identify the mathematical relation between the two-dimensional and three-dimensional physico-chemical properties. Nowadays, These physicochemical properties are known as molecular descriptors. The word descriptor is from describe, something which we are using for describing something. If we are using it for molecules, we call it as molecular descriptors. Okay. Some assumptions are required that all the molecules they belong to congeneric series. That means they have a small difference. For example, phenol, aniline, chlorobenzene. Okay. These are, for example, toluene also. So they have small difference in their structure and they are called as congeneric molecule. As scaffold, carbon skeleton is almost constant and some substituents are different. Either their position or their nature is different. And those are called as congeneric molecules. So whenever we work, we use congeneric molecules. We believe they have same mechanism of action. They bind in similar fashion. This is related to molecular docking. We'll see it later part of the day. Next word will be much faster. Please next. Because actual training is waiting for us. So remember the motivation behind QSR developed by Dr. Hensch that similar compounds behave similarly. Do you agree? Similar compounds behave similarly. We cannot behave differently. We all are same. We behave in a similar fashion. This is truthful, universal truth. Okay, and that's why we also believe that if you change something, it will change. So in case of molecule, we can change only the structure. So if any activities property is there, it is a function of structure. So if, for example, from phenol to aniline, phenol is slightly dangerous in nature, whereas aniline is not so dangerous. So we from phenol to aniline, we have actually changing the structure, so activity or property is changing. So then we can say the same thing for biological activity. And according to Dr. Hensch, biological activity BA is a function of steric factors, electronic factors, and hydrophobic factors. Do you agree? These are the three prominent factors we need to consider throughout drug designing: steric or crowding, electronic like dipole moment, partial charges, polar nature, and then last part that is the hydrophobic. We also call it lipophilic factor. That means whether the molecule is water loving or not loving. Okay, next please. So these are the free software which are available, and already those have been shared with the participant. The first one is ChemSketch. Then Avogadro is also available. You can download it. I'm using Avogadro 1.1. It's much better, even though higher version is available, but more functionalities are available in the first option. Then OpenBabel already shared with you. MMTK nowadays it's not working properly, though you can download and work it, but the procedure, the new version is very clumsy and very slow, and that's why I'm now avoiding using MMTK. Pedal is there and it requires Java to start. So the folder which has been shared with the participant contains Pedal, Build QSR. This is old, but unfortunately it's not working on certain versions of Windows like Windows 11. So up to Windows 7 to 10, you can use Build QSR. That's why I avoided sharing with others. You can also use Vecta, the recent version. So these are the normally the software which we use. Of this, today we'll go for this some of the software, not all because it's not possible. Okay, next please. Yeah, any question? Next please. So some important step today we'll perform. Okay, we'll do this. What we'll do today, we'll collect the experimental data from internet. Then the next step, structured drawing and appropriate 3D optimization, most important. We'll calculate the molecular descriptors and their pruning, and then model building, and finally model validation. We'll do this. Okay, next part. Now, next step is very important because here everyone is walking. Earlier in the morning, you listen a very nice lecture on DFT calculations, ab initio method. All these are methodologies to optimize the geometry of a molecule. Okay, why? Correct optimization is key to success. Here you can see, click next, please. You can identify this beautiful lady. See how beautiful she is. Can you recognize? Yes, Mona Lisa. So let's talk to Miss Mona Lisa, but she is not looking beautiful. I can say we are actually observing the skeleton. So in good books, organic chemistry especially, we read the word carbon skeleton. Okay, so in chemistry, most of the time we deal with the carbon skeleton. Only carbons are there and nitrogen or something is there. So we deal with only two-dimensional structure of a molecule and we are happy with that. But in drug designing, the drug is inside the human body and we are three-dimensional. It will interact with the protein and proteins are 3D. So carbon skeleton 2D will not work. We'll have to understand its 3D nature. So let us hope somebody did the 3D optimization, but inappropriately. So what will happen? You can get the result still good, but not to the mark. Am I correct? So now she is looking more beautiful, but still not to be called beautiful. Okay. And what happens when you choose the correct methodology, correct way of optimization? Next, please. You get the perfect result. So correct 3D optimization, most successful way to work in drug designing. That's why the lecture today began with DFT and other methods of optimization. Got my idea? So next, please. What we get? Identification, information, and description about whole thing. So let's say to bye bye to Mona Lisa. Go ahead, Mona Lisa. Go. Then molecular descriptors. So in case of molecular descriptor, we have different type of descriptor: one-dimensional, two-dimensional, three-dimensional. We'll calculate all these types of. But don't worry, you don't have to calculate. It is the software, it is the computer that will do this job for you. Then you will be happy. Okay, that's very fine. I myself, I do early in the morning, I start my job. Okay, select a data set, experimental data collection is done. Then structure generation is done, 3D optimization is being done. Everything is done by the computer. I'm doing nothing. I'm just clicking. Okay, so just walking and by doing my regular stuff at home, routine work, I'm doing my research. So after this, I will go for molecular descriptor. That is done by the computer. And you won't believe the final descriptor given to you, shared today, is able to calculate more than 18,000 molecular descriptors. Can you imagine? 18,000 different aspects of same molecule. Can you calculate such huge data for a single molecule in 1 minute? No. But with the help of computer, we can calculate this for hundreds of molecules in 10 minutes. So that is the speed that will increase. Okay. So that's why we'll calculate different types of descriptors. Next, go ahead, please. And then skip this because we'll do it in real action. Yeah, stop here. So what we do, we just find out the correlation. Remember, the whole field of drug designing is correlation. The molecules biological activity, whether it's correlated to log P, that means lipophilicity, or number of carbon, or number of hydrogen, or number of OH group, or number of NH2 group, or number of benzene, we find out the correlation. And with the help of Microsoft Excel, you can really identify the correlation between the biological activity and the molecular descriptor. Okay, this can be done manually with the help of Microsoft Excel or dedicated specific software are there. One of the software has been shared with you. The name is DTC QSAR. This software DTC QSAR has been developed by Dr. Kunal Rai from Jadavpur University. We are thankful to him for providing the free version of DTC QSAR to whole world. Okay, so sincere thanks to this kind gesture. So either you can do it manually or use DTC QSAR for automatic generation of QSAR models. Next, please. Here are some drugs in the market because of use of QSAR and computer-aided drug designing. Early in the morning, Dr. Patil also shared some success stories. Here are a few more. So the drug norfloxacin, which is famous antibiotic, is in the market because of CADD. There are a few more in the market. Okay, so these are in the market because of these technologies. Next, please. These are some recent technologies or success stories. Next, modern trends in QS or in CADD. You know about AI, artificial intelligence? Anyone? Have you heard the word? artificial intelligence. But in case of CADD or in QSR, we are using artificial intelligence for last 60 years. It is a new field for rest of the world. But in CADD, with the beginning of the computers, we were using machine learning. Machine is learning how to identify good drug. And AI is only one of the branch of machine learning. And way back in 1970s, artificial intelligence was introduced in computer-aided drug designing. Okay, but we are not using it anymore. Why? Because the world is mad after artificial intelligence. The only chemistry people are not giving any value to it. Let me show you why this happens. Next, please. Next. Stop. Here is one of my good friend. Can you recognize? I said my friend. Okay, so you recognize him, someone who is very famous. Let's go ahead. Next, please. So according to you, this man is, next please, and also artificial intelligence identified it, the famous president of US. Okay, Barack Obama. Let's go ahead. Let me show you the next reality. Now that's why artificial intelligence fails. When there is a lot of similarity, it completely fails. The best example is your mobile. When it has face recognition, it is more problematic to, especially for female, with makeup and without makeup. So it fails. Why it fails? Because small change is very crucial. The reason is, next please, AI is identifying the character features, outline features. Okay, if it doesn't match, you are some other person. Okay, so in case of chemistry, small change we call dramatic reason. Let me show you. Next, here is one drug. Next, please. It is, now we have two analogs. You can see only the nitrogen is only the new entity in the right hand side molecule. Correct? Rest is same, nothing. You will say there is hardly a change of one atom. What this nitrogen will do? Okay. Let me show you. So this was tested for troponin I interacting kinase, that means for cancer, and its biological activity was found to be 8,000 nanomolar experimentally, and for the same AI predicted it to be very, very close. Okay, very close to it. You can say this is because only a difference of one nitrogen is there, but in reality, let's go ahead. When it was tested, the derivative analog, it has more nitrogen. It was found to be with experimental IC50 of 80 nanomolar. So mere failure, not a mere failure, 1,000 times failure of this technology. So you'll say, single example, many more molecules in the world. Let's go ahead. So the same trick was used again for another type of molecule, another testing. For example, for splint tyrosine kinase, again for cancer, biological activity 8.8. Another derivative was prepared with simple replacement of carbon by nitrogen. Again, AI predicted it to be very, very close. It should have IC50 of 10 nanomolar. Next, please. An experimental IC50 was found to be something very, very less, 0.06. Once again, AI failed. So these are not only two examples. There are numerous examples where it is completely failed. This is because it tried to identify the characteristic pattern. Okay. So if suppose you will show 100 cats to artificial intelligence, it will identify the common features, and when a real tiger is in front of it, it will say it is a cat. It cannot recognize the danger of a tiger in front of it. Okay, so this is the problem with AI. That's why in drug designing, artificial intelligence has failed completely. Instead, we are using deep learning and neural networks. Those are more better. Okay, I will tell you how this is actually workful. Next, please. So this is the actual reason why it actually all happened. Next, please. And We are also going now. The time is limited, but we'll definitely touch molecular docking. One of the software given to you through today's workshop is NRG suite. This NRG suite is really easy to use, and it is for molecular docking. Okay, you can install it very well. The only hurdle is to activate it. Only activation is required. Otherwise, the manual given by the scientists, okay, the Canadian scientists who developed it, they have given nice pictorial manual containing each and every aspect in great details. At home, you can see that manual, read it, and you can perform of your own without having any good knowledge of that software. Okay, so I will tell you how to activate it. Otherwise, you cannot use it. Next, please. Now, today, I said for molecules, it is very important to have correct 3D structure. The same applies with the protein also. This is because if you carry out the resolution of a protein at 3 angstrom, you will see that the cavity, the axis side where the molecule is going to sit, is very smooth. You'll say it's very smooth, no problem, because the resolution is poor. And at higher resolution, then you have more idea that it's not so simple and smooth. Some bumps are there. Okay, it's not that much smooth. Okay, some ups and downs are there. And finally, at very high resolution of 1.2 angstrom, you can clearly see the shape of the active site or cavity of the protein. Now you have more clear picture. That's why whenever we go for molecular docking, we prefer a PDB, a file with higher resolution. Smaller the number in terms of angstrom unit, better the resolution. So a higher resolution means low angstrom unit. That is preferred for molecular docking. This is the key to success. And that second aspect is complete molecular sequence. Okay, let's go ahead. Next. Please close this one. Yeah, next, please. Anything? Not. So the technical glitches are back. Next, back. Yeah, next. So on your screen now you can see the actual molecular docking happening in action with animation. And let me tell you, I am not the creator of this animation. I actually borrowed it from internet. The credit goes to the original person. You can recognize that the software is trying to fit a molecule inside the active site or the groove or the cavity. So fitting, purposeful, trying to fit a molecule inside the active site is called as molecular docking. To dock means to docking. Okay. So it could happen that the space, the cavity is smaller, molecule is bigger in size, but if you're trying and you're pushing it, it will sit down inside the active site, but it won't show you anything. So docking is considered one of the techniques, or we call it a static technique. Nowadays, it is verified by using molecular dynamics. And in case of molecular dynamics, the molecule is subjected to real vibrations at different nanoseconds. That means different time scale with respect to energy. And Dr. Rahul Jawarkar is not at all. I'm very poor with respect to molecular dynamics. Okay, if I'm not good, I'm not. Move ahead, please. Next. This is the clear picture where you can see that the green color molecule is from our side, which we are actually trying to fit just like X-ray pose. If our docking pose and X-ray result pose, they both match, then the molecule, the docking which we are actually performing is considered as validated and correct. So whenever you will go for molecular docking, the question will arise whether your docking protocol, docking procedure is correct or not. How will you validate this? The answer is our docking pose and previously reported docking X-ray pose, they are matching. That means we have done everything correct. For example, suppose you are using aspirin as a reference. So the docking pose result for aspirin inside the protein and your docking pose, if they match, then it is correct. Otherwise, we'll have to re-perform the whole docking procedure. Okay. Next, please. So, in conclusion, we have to do a lot of things. These are good techniques. Next, please. A lot of people are required for all this drug designing. Last part of the next. Yeah, next. So, this is because I took this presentation or a small lecture because what we now know what we have to do. Now we know we have to do pharmacophore modeling, we have to do each and everything. So without wasting the time, shall I go ahead for next part? With the kind permission of all the participants. One more thing, I request the organizers to unmute all the participants. I want to have chaos. This is because in real training, definitely you will have issue and you want to raise it. Okay? Go ahead, please unmute all. Everyone, one by one. Okay, let's begin. Please start your machine, the laptop. Okay, please. Now on my machine, now let me start. We'll start with the chem sketch. Okay, chem sketch. Chem sketch is a software for drawing and other purpose. I request Dr. Jawarkar sir to be the next part. Let me start till the end. Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Just a minute. Then I will start it.
Yes. I hope one can able to run the game sketch. Is it working or not? Is it working? Yes, sir. Okay, so shall we start now?
Excuse me, sir. For online participant, we are getting echo, sir.
Actually, most of the participants are unmuted and therefore echo must be there. One should ask the participant to mute their mics.
Listen everyone, what we can do with the game sketch actually, the first application of chem sketch is to draw the structures. Okay, what is the utility of drawing the structure? We have gone through all these three sessions. Okay, so everyone emphasize on the structure and structure. Sometimes 3D structure, sometimes 2D structure. Okay, so when we study any molecule, that may be biomolecule or that may be any chemical entity. Okay, we must have a basic idea about the structure of that molecule. Okay, we must know about the various functional groups present in that molecule. So, if we think about the computational chemistry, the basic part of computational chemistry is to draw the structures. Okay, once you get the idea how to draw the structure, computational chemistry will be easy for you. Because when we draw the structure, we get different ideas about the structure, like different functional group, say hydroxy group, say chlorine group, certain other halogens, certain methoxy group, certain methyl group, that we can actually draw and we can actually observe visually. Because sir said that while his lecture, these are pharmacophores. These are what?
Excuse me, sir.
These are what? These are pharmacophores, and the biological activity of every molecule depends on the pharmacophore. Because when this pharmacophore approaches the receptor, or when this pharmacophore entered into the body, the functional group present in the molecule get interact with that receptors. Okay, the functional group is present in a molecule, which is present in the chemical structure. So, drawing chemical structure is very much important. So here, through the game sketch, we are going to learn how to draw the structure of the molecule. It is simple task. It is simple. Okay. We have a game sketch software. Everyone is installed with the game sketch software. You just open the software first. Everyone, have you opened the game sketch? Okay. Now, consider any molecule. Consider any molecule. For example, aspirin. Anyone who knows the structure of aspirin? Aspirin. Okay, just pick up the benzene ring. Just pick up the benzene ring, which may be available on the right side panel. Okay, you can see here, right side panel. Here, vertical panel is available and different rings are also available. Okay, you just have to click and drag that ring to the workspace. Have you done this? Okay. Now, attach different functional groups. As we say, aspirin. What are different functional groups present in the aspirin?
Open it killer H1. Bluish level.
Can you able to see this?
Two acid2
See, if you don't know the structure or the features of aspirin, then we have a website called PubChem. You know PubChem? Who knows PubChem? If you put the name of compound in the search box of the PubChem website, you will get the structure of that compound. Here, let us see how to visualize the structure of the aspirin. So first, everyone open the PubChem.
Excuse me, Masan sir, Jawarkar sir. Hello, am I audible, Jawarkar sir?
So here the search box will appear, and this search box you have to type So this is the structure for aspirin. Here in aspirin, there is a carboxyl group and one methoxy group. So with the help of game sketch, let us try how to draw the structure of aspirin. Again, we are going to the game sketch. We have to select the benzene ring. We have to drag it to the first place first. Okay, everyone, have you brought this benzene ring in the workspace? Okay. Now, on this position, the carboxyl is present in the aspirin. So here, on the left panel, different functional groups are available. Like here, all the metals are available on the left panel.
Hello, hello, Masan sir. This is Ajay Gandhi. Hello.
If different conformations are also available if the structure having any axial structure or it shows any topological form, then we can draw it with the help of this menu or this manner.
यहाँ से निकल के रेडीमेड नहीं क्लिक करो उसको नहीं ऑनलाइन से निकलते हैं
Other participants, Miss Anushka Amla, Rasayan Afri, please put your mic on, off.
Below this
Your audio
iris center, there are different types of available. Like okay, here on the left panel, various heteroatom are available. Okay, if you wish to select any or touch any heteroatom, then you have to click over it and you have to drag it over to this pencil. So here on the right hand side panel, I have selected one carboxyl, okay, just like which is present in the benzene. You can see here on the left side, on my left side, one carboxyl group is there. Okay, you just click the carboxyl group on the right side and simply drag it to this position of the benzene. Then on the top side of this benzene, you have to attach one methoxy group. Is it methoxy group or something else? Is it methoxy group?
बिल्कुल सीधा राजी सर
Huh? Is it acetyl or methoxy? Yes, it is acetyl. Now, here acetic group is also available. Is it direct or not? Is it direct or not? Is it? How long? Huh? Position of?
वो कमी आहे त्यांच्या वो कमी ठेवल्या जातात
हाँ how both from
Heteroatom is
क्या
missing which one? Oxygen is present only. OCOCH3 or COCH3? Yes, OCOCH3. Okay.
बढ़िया आहे हे दाखवून का लोकांना इम्प्रेस करतात फायदा म्हणजे कोण सांगतो बस तुम्हाला विचारावं पुढचे मी विचारायचं हो
सर
Okay, this is the structure for SP. The structural drawing is as simple as.
सर
Now, you can calculate the property of the structures. Let us see what we can calculate. This is very basic software actually. Okay, with the help of control A, you can select whole structure. Yes.
Control and structure.
Okay.
Control C. So positive charge on. Directly control C करता काम नहीं. Control.
इसके गलत क्या आपने? ये जो COH है ना ये यहाँ पे ना, ठीक है? See, lot of time what happens, there is intramolecular bonding within the molecule. Intramolecule means the different functional group in the same molecule form a hydrogen bonding among themselves. So this is just because of the incorrect substitution of different functional groups in the same molecule. And same thing happen over here. If you place carboxy group at the upper position, then it form a hydrogen bond with the carbonyl oxygen of acetylene. So be careful about this. If you wrongly place any group at wrong place, wrongly substitute any group in the structure by drawing, okay, you will face difficulty like this person. Okay. So now we shall see how to calculate the properties of the structure.
लॉक भी कैलकुलेट करते हैं सॉफ्टवेयर में लॉक भी कैलकुलेट करते हैं.
We can calculate different properties like we can generate name for the structure. Okay? We can anyone
Okay,
you just control it just. You can implement all word function. Control it. Okay, if you wish to select the structure, just click control and now go to the tool menu. You can see here the first element in the bar. Okay, so there at the end from last word menu is the generate. Going to the generate and you can see, you can able to calculate or you can able to see the name of the structure, the stereo distributor certain properties which form the part of stereochemistry of that particular molecule or this active. Then smart information also you can see. Then structure also you can generate from the smileys. Okay. Then inches from the structure. Then inch option and structure from inch. After this, the last option is calculate. You can see the variety of property which are associated with the acidic molecule. Like you can calculate the molecular formula, then you can go for the formula of it, then molar value, then molar volume, then parabol value, then index of rotation, surface tension, density, dielectric constant, polarizability, RDP, monoisotopic mass, nominal mass, average mass. All these properties we can calculate with the help of this software. So let us see how we can calculate the molar value. Have you performed this? Simply go into the input option. Okay. Input option, you have selected the last option. Calculate. Okay, this calculate option. And once you click the calculate, you can see the option. There are property which you can calculate with the help of this software. But before that, you have to select the structure. Simply calculate. And click on the calculate. Then you can calculate the density also. Here, the density of the structure.
सगळं करते सगळी प्रॉपर्टी जायचं कंट्रोल ते कॉपी टू
फीचर ज्यादा है थोड़े से कौन याच्यात फीचर जास्त आहे ना
मी एकच याच्यावरती
ॲनिमेशन आहे याच्यात
सगळं नाही उचलत.
सगळं काही आहे त्याच्यात
मी मगा जो कसं होता तो कुठं होता त्या एवर होता ॲव्हरेज मासवर होता
काढा.
तेवढीच कॉपी द्यायची लक्षात कंट्रोल ए नाही होत का नाही होत सगळ्या प्रॉपर्टी करता येईल त्याच्यावरून हे करून तुम्हाला आता आलं
काय रे होय
Here,
आगे 3D
we can visualize the 3D structure of the molecule also.
3D आ गया 3D
The 3D model can be visualized in different ways, like space field, then wall seating, then only sheet, and simple lines or wireframes. So this one is 3D model for the aspirin molecule. Okay, same model we can view in
काही लोकांसाठी खूप नवीन असेल
ball and stick also. Then
पहिले नाही का
we can visualize same model in stick also. So what is the use of visualization of any structure in 3D manner or 3D view?
मध्ये पाहिलं फक्त
Anybody from the audience?
त्यांनी याच्यावरच जत्रा
What is the
मिळवली
necessity to view the molecule in 3D picture? Huh?
बॉल चेंज करता येते
Actually, this one is not optimized. Okay, when we optimize this molecule, then only we shall see that molecule in the 3D mode. This is simple visualization of the molecule. When we, especially when we study the drug receptor interaction, doing that, it helps to find out the conformation of the molecule within the receptor binding pocket. This is the main use of visualization of molecules in 3D mode. With the help of this software, we can calculate log of the molecule also. But here I am not getting the option how to calculate this log here. Okay?
आपण डिलीट करून टाकू ते नाही आपल्या इकडलं कुठं झालं
मेघराज दादा नाव
Okay, what we learned in this structural molecules. We have drawn the structure of aspirin molecule. Okay, if you don't know the structure of any molecule, you just have to visit the pubchem. Okay, you have to put the names in the pubchem. Okay, then that you can able to see the structure, and from that visually you can draw the structure in the game stage. The most useful part of this software is right and left side panels. Okay, on the right side panel you can find the different 5 and 6 member groups, whereas on the right side panel we will find the different heteroatoms. Okay. From the tool option we can calculate the properties of the molecule right from molecular weight to its log. But here, I can find the log option. Okay, this is new one. Actually, we don't go for the same system. Okay, so log option. Okay, from this option, we can able to see the log of the. Okay, the log of SB is 1.19. From this place, we can see the log P of this molecule.
Any log P?
Okay, any difficulty in drawing of structure?
नहीं कैलकुलेट हाँ कैलकुलेटर मध्ये तो XML log P. Yes, just to find.
Windows operating systems are
Oh, yeah.
Draw structure. Structure निकालने का तुम्हें? Properly काहीतरी तुम्हाला structure double दिलेला तुम्ही. सर हो गया?
So, my dear friends, let's go to the next part of the day, that is use of open babel. Okay, the software has shared with you through the link, Google Drive link. Please open the folder, and if open babel is not installed on your machine, please do install. Let me show you why it is important. Already opened babel here. Okay. So what I will do, as rightly pointed by Java sir, there are so many things. Okay. Sorry, so now the next part is to use open babel, as well as the next part is about ATM, admit prediction. Okay. So remember, we need to have a reliable source to perform admit analysis. For this, my idea is to use the server, and for this server, I'll suggest you to draw the molecule of your choice, the molecule on which you are working right now. It could be the molecule from your diseases or something like that. Just draw a molecule of interest. Please do it. Then we can understand whether the molecule you are imagining is going to be a good drug or not. Let's move. Okay. My dear friends, draw a structure of the molecule in stage, and then just say we want to have the slice notation. So what is slice notation? The shorthand notation is called a molecule. It's very simple linear representation of molecule. But this is the technical language, the basis for sharing the database. The databases are right now full of mileage notation for different types of molecules. Whenever you send your paper to a research journal, the journal will ask mileage notation. Remember, standard journals are following this procedure. Okay, you can draw the molecule. Please draw it. My suggestion is to draw a molecule. I'm actually preferring S because Today, after the lecture, I'll go for 2 or 3 tablets. Okay, you do also. Please draw a molecule. Did this? Have you done this or not? Please draw a molecule. Now select it. To select, you can press Control A. Control A. The usual procedure to select something. This will select the molecule. Yeah. Correct. Please draw a molecule of your choice. If you are lacking the functional group, those are given on the right side. Here. You can see multiple functional groups are available, ready to be used in chemistry. On the right hand side, click on icon, full of different buttons there. Okay. Now, drawing the molecule, select it by pressing Control A. Control. Now, go to Tools, then Generate and Smiley Notation. Tools, then Generate, and there is the fourth option, Smiley Notation. We also want a Smiley string. Okay? So click on Smiley notation. The Smiley notation will appear below the two-dimensional structure in ChemSketch. Let me show you. There it is. You can see a linear representation of a molecule. Okay. The ring carbon controls a smaller one, the non-ring carbons are capital one. Remember, that's the difference. If anything is in the ring, it's smaller. If it is not, it is capital. Okay, what I will do, I will copy this. I will have to do this. So, double clicking. So this pilot notation is there. This can be used for different aspects. These different aspects are to predict the element values and to get the more accurate 3D optimized structure by using OpenDabber. Okay, just select it.
कनेक्शन त्यांचं बंद झालं बरं तिथलं.
In the browser, just type Swiss ADME. Swiss ADME. Obviously, from Switzerland, someone has created this website for you. Okay, Swiss ADME. And then press enter. I'm pressing the button. A new web page. That means even Google will provide you the link for going to ADME web server. Did you get it? Now let me show you the magic of Swiss ADME. I'll click on the very first website, Swiss ADME, and the browser now enter into new window, new web server, new website, and something is new there. The left hand side panel is there to draw the structure. Okay, you can draw. On the right side, you can paste the smiley notation. Which one you prefer? Whichever you want. Okay. I just copied the science notation. I will paste it here.
इसे बनवते हैं.
You can see that. On the right hand side window, I actually tested, or even I can type. Instead of typing, I'll paste it. Okay? You can draw the structure of your molecule also. This is your choice. I prefer using my notation. Why? You will understand later. Have you done this? Done?
Yes.
Now obviously, go downward. Then place on run button. That red color button is for running the calculation. Do this, please. Please do this. So after the calculation, the result will appear at the bottom. Can you see? The molecule aspirin is now analyzed according to modern technology and rules. And you can see that there are certain properties associated with those have been highlighted on your screen. Now, that radar graph, that red color graph, okay, is called a radar graph and very famous. It is used in research frequently. This one. Okay. There are 6 different corners. Remember, it is called radar plot. Generally, it is called a summary of the parameters associated with the molecule. Lipophilic, hydrogen bond acceptor, product, all these aspects are there. Below this, you can see the different parameters or computational properties. The molecular weight, number of heavy atoms, all the molecular descriptors. Something which we are using to describe the molecule. You don't have to count how many non-hydrogen atoms are there. Non-hydrogen atoms, heavy atoms, and those are there. They are, I think, 13 number of aspirin and the fraction of carbon, that means sp3 carbon, they are contributing about 0.11, number of rotatable bonds 3, number of H bond acceptors 4, and then number of H bond donors 1, molar refractivity 44.9. You can see that. And below that there is TPS. TPS is total polar surface area. According to Dr. Weber, it should be 60 at the beginning and at most 150 according to Dr. Lipinski. Now look at this molecule. This molecule has TPSA or PSA in the range or actually very close to 63. That's very good. Okay. So this is going to show you how the molecule can be a good starting material for a new drug. So you don't have to do a lot of jobs. Many things are done by the computer, web server, and other aspects are also there. In your research paper, you can say that as per the Swiss ADME, which is recognized by all over the world, almost all scientists, that Swiss ADME has given the added profile, and according to this profile, my molecule has so and so properties. Now on the right hand side, you can get the pharmacodynamic part in place, the admit properties. Here, see pharmacodynamic. Hundreds and thousands of molecules. Okay, so by observing many molecules, they have formulated these rules, and that's why these are accepted by almost all scientists, all researchers. So whenever you go for a research paper, you can put this data in your paper. GI absorption is very high. Blood-brain barrier coefficient is very yes. PGP substrate, then enzyme is metabolism related. So all aspects are known here. Remember, aspirin is not digested or metabolized directly. Am I correct? First it is hydrolyzed and then it is metabolized. That's why it is straight from metabolism related aspect. Okay. Even though aspirin is marketed in the drug, but it is not a drug. We call it a pro-drug. So first it is converted to some other moiety and then used. Okay, so with the help of this ADME, you can get some admit related. Okay, and at the bottom you can see the toxicity related like parameters. Okay, so there is one aspect of a molecule with the help of this ADME. Now there is another developed by University of Cambridge. You know, University of Cambridge. Okay, so they have developed one more server that is called PKCSM. Let's move on PKCSM. So in Google, I'll just write down PKCSM. PK-CSM. PK-CSM. Okay.
नहीं आता फिर
And then hit enter. The very first web page is about the paper on PKCSM by the scientist, the original author. But we are not interested in this. Instead, the second website is much better. PKCSM Biological Labs, University of Melbourne. Can you read it? Obviously,
त्याला कार्बन दिली घ्यायची
University of Melbourne is a Cambridge subject names of there. They are doing a lot of design and community. If you face this situation, your connection is not private, that is for advanced. You have to go for advanced option. At the bottom, you will see one more option. Proceed to biostate. Okay, can you read it? Then click on it. And the new web page will appear. Proceed to biostate and the rest of the web page. Click on this. New web page will appear. And now the original Spanish notation can be used here. Okay. Some people are more smart, they are using Android mobile to do this job, they can. Obviously, smartness has no end. And then I will select the first option page. Okay? The very first option page is there. And the actual server is appears. Here you can use the smiley notation to predict admit properties in good details. More probability you now on right hand side you can see there is an option to provide a smiley string. As I told you, smiley notation and smiley string both are one and the same thing. Paste the smiley string here. Control V. Okay, and then at the bottom in red or black in color, you can see ADMET, admit. Scroll down in the browser. Scroll down or at the bottom end of the page, this web page, you can see admit in black in color. Click on this button of admit. Admit. मेरे को मिलेगी ना?
आता सवय झाली आता परत जाते का शॉर्टकट नाही काही तुला आता जाते
So you can see that it's calculating and giving the details of the molecule.
मग मधातून रस्त्याने हे असं खराब असेल म्हणजे असं झाड वगैरे किती वाटते का रस्ते सही झाले
It requires time to calculate ADME according to this program.
तिथून जवळ होते तुम्हाला तुम्ही कोणते 11वी 8 की 12वी
So today we understood that whenever I want to share my data with the world, I need to have smiley notation that save the space, time, and everything. So copy and paste here in Word file, in Excel sheet, or in form and presentation. In our research paper, I have to use the smiley notation. Okay, and a lot of space data can be used. One more advantage is that we can have good data for a molecule. So in case of one molecule, you can see that it is still running. But some people have accomplished this aspect of ADME with their form. This ADME as well as the copying is yes. I hope this real training is useful. Unfortunately, I'm in English because some other participants are there.
इथे टाकायचे ते जे असले स्माइली आहे ती जी स्माइली आहे ती
So we have arrived at the second part, the third part, pharmacophore modeling. So in case of molecules, we have different data. I can save it. Just copy and paste somewhere in your Word file. Just select it. In case of PPT, you don't need to type anything. Just select the middle of your mouse. Okay, and then you can copy and paste it anywhere in the Word file. Good data with you for publication. Now for the molecule, we are collecting a lot of information. We are doing the data collection and that one will do the data mining. Still like example, got it from this let me tell you, I have received a question regarding the use of this data. Since this server is in public domain, we can use it anywhere. In research also, you just need to mention that this data you have got from following server. You have to mention correctly the podium research article describing the whole functioning and structure of PKCSM, okay, and the web link. Then it is not considered plagiarism at all. You are on the same side. And in fact, we have developed this for usage for different type of people, students, then research scholars, professors, postdoc people, everyone. They are using it. Everyone is using free of cost, and we are not using it at all. This is because we are not knowing. Today, we got the opportunity, and we should be thankful to the two colleges organizing this international event. Yes, Tompe College as well as Vijay. So such type of events will be more in number, I think so, because rigorous training is required. I cannot make you expert, but at least we can try. And this is the first step. Okay. So after finishing the structural drawing, the optimization, size, rotation, admit. Now the next part, Pharmacophore modeling. But before Pharmacophore modeling, you need to have the correct 3D structure of muscle cell. Okay. For this, you will have to have correct. For this, you will use open dabble. So please open dabble. If you are not installed it correctly.
मैंने इंस्टॉल कर लिया
ओपन सर ओपन लेवल चालू कर देना
ना मछली के जैसा है
माइलेज कॉपी है सर वहाँ कॉपी कर देना कॉपी है सर कंट्रोल स्माइली है कॉपी नीचे We are trying to bring open level. If you are installed it correctly, you can start it without any hassle.
केमिकल बॉन्ड तयार करण्यासाठी आपल्याला दोन एलिमेंट लागतात.
Open level, the name itself says that it's the open source software available free of cost
ए आणि
and
दोन एलिमेंट आहेत.
versatile
एकमेकांसोबत त्या
high format converter software available in the field of informatics. Generally, convert smileys to other file format with the help of this one.
शेअर करू.
This is one of the most interesting, useful, and a software having so many functionalities in it. So, what we do, we just open it, and at the top left hand corner, you can see we can select what type of input we can have.
एकमेकांचे इलेक्ट्रॉन एकमेकांना शेअर करतात.
Or input format, the word input format is there. Okay, just click on this and select smileys.
आणि रेणू म्हणजे काय?
Smileys.
मराठीत त्याला रेणू म्हणतात.
Input format, smileys. That's why smileys is very useful.
त्या ठिकाणी दोन सायंटिस्ट या ठिकाणी.
You got my idea why I'm after smileys notation. Smileys notation is regularly used by
Coulson आणि
scientists to communicate about the molecules.
Coulson
At the same time.
केमिकल बॉन्ड.
So if you have smileys notation with you, click on input format and then click on smileys. Please do it. And then just below it there is yellow color window to paste the smileys notation. Paste it here.
तर यांनी कशासाठी
Yeah.
केमिकल बॉन्ड
Yellow color window on left side. paste the smiley notation.
right
now.
व्हॅलेन्सी काय असते? प्रत्येक एलिमेंटची व्हॅलेन्सी असते. व्हॅलेन्सी म्हणजे काय? बॉन्ड बनवण्याची त्याची क्षमता. किती तो बॉन्ड बनवू शकतो? जास्तीत जास्त बॉन्ड किती बनवू शकतो? त्याला म्हणतात ची व्हॅलेन्सी. ठीक आहे. कार्बनची व्हॅलेन्सी आपण 4
Smiley input
चार बॉन्ड बनवतो.
correct 3D means correct Pharmacophore modeling.
हायड्रोजन जर म्हटलं की नायट्रोजनची व्हॅलेन्सी 3 असते. ऑक्सिजनची व्हॅलेन्सी
Smiley तयार करा ना.
एक असते.
You have to generate the smileys, copy and paste it here.
व्हॅलेन्सी कशी पेजवर आहे?
Okay. There are two. Yeah, here. Smiley's notation is there. Smiley's input format is here. Okay. Now on right hand side there is output. Before the middle part is for setting. Different options are there.
आपल्याला माहिती आहे 6.
Somewhere you can click on get 3D coordinates.
1s2 2s.
Can you see get 3D coordinates? Option is there.
ठीक आहे. तर 2s आणि 2p यांच्यामध्ये टोटल इलेक्ट्रॉन किती आहे?
Be careful. A lot of options are there.
2 आणि 2 4 आहे. आता बॅलन्सिंग
Generate 3D coordinate. Generate.
ऑक्टेट साठी पाहिजे 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन. त्याच्याकडे किती आहे? 4 आहे.
Generate 3D coordinates.
4 बॉन्ड बनवतो. कार्बन 4 बॉन्ड तयार करतो. 4 बॉन्ड तयार केले.
Now check the box. The square box should be with a correct tick mark.
आणि त्या 4 एलिमेंटनी एक इलेक्ट्रॉन
Tick mark that box.
4 ते आणि 4.
Okay. That means now you are converting smileys to 3D. Not 2-dimensional. 3-dimensional get to with correct geometry. Huh?
म्हणून आपण म्हणतो कार्बनची व्हॅलेन्सी किती आहे? नायट्रोजन
Generate 3D. Okay. Now go downward
1s2
and you can see more options are there. I will not go through different one because right now we have limited time. But generate 3D coordinate is very important. On right hand side there is output format. Output which will use for generation of Pharmacophore model.
3 इलेक्ट्रॉन प्लस 3 म्हणजे 8.
On right hand side
हे 3 इलेक्ट्रॉन
output format
काय केला?
MDL mol 5 MDL.
म्हणून 3 बॉन्ड मध्ये 3 इलेक्ट्रॉन येतील आणि हे 5 इलेक्ट्रॉन असे टोटल
MDL mol 5. Remember, after smileys, the most versatile highly useful file format is mol.
हायड्रोजननी या 3 हायड्रोजन सोबत बॉन्ड तयार. त्या कार्बन
On left side, we use smileys notation. On right side, mol. Output. File format.
त्याला किती ऑक्टेट कम्प्लीट करण्यासाठी कमी पडतात?
नाही मला नाही करायचं.
तेवढे त्याला अटॅच करायचे.
सारी शक्तीवर विश्वास आहे.
तेव्हा आपल्याला समजते त्याची व्हॅलेन्सी. नायट्रोजनची व्हॅलेन्सी किती आहे? 3. नायट्रोजनची व्हॅलेन्सी किती आहे?
Will you get it?
आणि त्याने 3 इलेक्ट्रॉन.
MDL mol 5.
कार्बनची व्हॅलेन्सी किती आहे?
Mol format. Yes. MDL mol format. इंग्रजी काय सर?
आता अकॉर्डिंग
I request Dr. Jawarkar.
नुसार आता लेविस काय?
Okay, did you get this? Now click on the middle button that is forward. And you will see the
पॉझिटिव्ह चार्ज त्यात काय म्हटलंय? कर्नल
format below.
न्यूक्लियस.
So when you will just let me tell you. So when you want to convert it, there are two options. Either you need to save it or you need to see it.
पॉझिटिव्ह चार्ज असतो.
Okay.
आणि हे जे
So
दोन
you getting my point? Save it.
या इलेक्ट्रॉन सोबत या पॉझिटिव्ह चार्जला म्हटलं त्यांनी
So there are two options. The first one is display below only
मध्ये 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन.
and second option is to save it in mol file format somewhere on your computer.
Inner cell.
If you want to see the molecule right now, but that means you don't see numbers.
Inner मध्ये किती इलेक्ट्रॉन असतात? तो
Instead, you can use it both one by one. Sir, will you please convert it to दूसरा option? Convert.
त्याच्यामध्ये किती इलेक्ट्रॉन असतात? 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन.
आम्हाला पण आलं.
The octet of electron represents a stable electron arrangement. Lewis stated that
Do
each
not
atom must use
check
stable octet
both the options. Only one option should be
जेव्हा एखादा element
below. Okay.
त्याचं काय कंप्लीट
You
करतो?
will see a lot of numbers and a lot of zeros are there.
तयार करतो. ठीक आहे.
And if zeros are there,
आपण NaCl
it is not correctly optimized or done. See,
एक्झाम्पल घेऊ. या ठिकाणी सोडियम आहे एक एलिमेंट.
a lot of zeros are there.
सोडियम आणि क्लोरीन आहे.
This is because we are trying to get the 3D coordinates without optimization.
पॉझिटिव्ह असतो हा
Are you getting my idea?
निगेटिव्ह. मग पॉझिटिव्ह काय असतो?
अच्छा अच्छा.
आणि हा आहे नॉन मेटल.
That's why I told you. The example of the
इलेक्ट्रॉन देणार
correctly.
इलेक्ट्रॉन घेणारे म्हणतात
So we'll go for the correct condition.
मेटल
So in case of this, we'll go for generate. How click on generate 3D coordinate and then again click on convert.
आला म्हणजे इलेक्ट्रॉन वाढले. म्हणजे इथे
Generate
इलेक्ट्रॉन
3D
कमी झाले
coordinate.
म्हणून चार्ज कोणता?
Click.
आणि इथे वाढले म्हणून
Now convert. Have you observed the change? The numbers which were earlier 0 only, now are numbers, some are positive and some are negative. Those are actually the coordinates of the atoms.
in case of molecule like
Remember, when we do this, this usually happens.
the body is formed by sharing of
Click on generate 3D coordinates. Then again click on convert.
outer octet of the electron.
आता octet tool काय आहे? Very correctly.
Octet tool मी तो आधी सांगितला.
Generate 3D coordinates.
Octet tool is based on stability of global gases. 8 electron पाहिजे आपल्याला octet complete व्हायला.
Convert.
It will state that during the formation of chemical bond, atom release gain or share electron so that its outermost octet tool काय? जेव्हा atom ने इलेक्ट्रॉन दिला share केला तर त्याच्या शेवटच्या इलेक्ट्रॉन पाहिजे 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन पाहिजे. Therefore, atom octet tool is found to be very useful chemical combination of atom. However, it should be noted that it is not valid for octet tool साठी आपल्याला किती इलेक्ट्रॉन पाहिजे? 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन पाहिजे. पण हायड्रोजन च्या बाबतीत किती इलेक्ट्रॉन असतात?
हे जर का आज ठेवले शाळेंनी
हे दोन्ही जर सोडले तर यांच्या बाबतीत ऑक्टेट रूल लागू होत ऑक्टेट रूल
कसं असतं
कारण आपल्याला 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन पाहिजे. ते आहेत कमी आहेत 8 यांचा ऑक्टेट कंप्लीट करतात. काय कंप्लीट करतात यांचा हायड्रोजन काय करेल? त्याच्याकडे 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन आहे कंप्लीट करायचं त्याला 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन काय करावं लागेल? हायड्रोजन हा कसा तयार होतो? या हायड्रोजनचा 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन आणि या हायड्रोजनचा 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन. म्हणजे यांनी याचा इलेक्ट्रॉन घेतला याच्याकडे किती इलेक्ट्रॉन होतात? 2. आणि याने याचा घेतला याच्याकडे किती होतात? म्हणजे दोघांचे पण गरजा कंप्लीट झाल्या. आणि त्यामुळे काय बनला आपला. तसाच लिथियम बनतो. म्हणजे याच्याकडे किती इलेक्ट्रॉन होते? 3. त्यातले 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन हे न्यूक्लियस जवळ असतात आणि जो 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन असतो तो बाहेर असतो. मग तो बाहेरचा इलेक्ट्रॉन याचा बाहेरचा काय करतो, असा बॉन्ड तयार करतो. म्हणजे याच्याकडे किती झाले आता 2. याच्याकडे 1 आहे, आता हा याच्याकडून घेईल म्हणजे याचा सुद्धा डुप्लेट कंप्लीट करेल. डुप्लेट म्हणजे 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन आणि बनेल आपला याला आयोनिक बॉन्ड. आयोनिक बॉन्ड. फॉर्मेशन ऑफ सोडियम क्लोराइड. NaCl कसा तयार होतो? आता दोघांचं कॉन्फिगरेशन घेऊ आणि क्लोरीनचं घेऊ. याचा ॲटॉमिक नंबर किती असतो? 11. याचा 1s2 2s2 2p6 आणि 3s1. साठी लिहून घेऊ 1s2 2s2 2p6 3s2 3p5. आता बघा याच्याकडे किती इलेक्ट्रॉन झाले? ऑक्टेट साठी म्हणून या सोडियमचा हा इलेक्ट्रॉन म्हणजे आपला काय बनतो?
ते आवाज किती त्रास आहे?
सोडियम क्लोराइड. कळालं का? देणारा कोण होता या ठिकाणी? म्हणजे याने इलेक्ट्रॉन कोणाला दिला? त्याचा इलेक्ट्रॉन काय कंप्लीट केलं? ऑक्टेट कंप्लीट. ठीक आहे, म्हणून काय झालं? म्हणून दिला म्हणजे इलेक्ट्रॉन कमी झाला आणि याने घेतला म्हणून इलेक्ट्रॉन वाढला. म्हणून चार्ज बघा याच्यावर कोणता आहे? ते कमी झाला आणि याच्यावर म्हणजे मॅथने पॉझिटिव्ह दिसतं म्हणजे वाढलं, पॉझिटिव्ह दिसतं म्हणजे कमी झालं. उलट आहे, कमी झाले. काय आणि ते इलेक्ट्रॉन
जाएगा मूवी
या ठिकाणी सोडियमनी त्याचं एक इलेक्ट्रॉन त्याच्या मागे पण कारण आहे की सगळ्यांना नोबेल गॅस आहे. नोबेल गॅस
कोणता रिझन देतो ना मला
नोबेल गॅस आपल्याला माहिती
कौन देखने गया
हिलियम नाही निऑन
कौन देखने गया मूवी
आर्गॉन क्रिप्टॉन आणि झेनॉन. टेबलच्या शेवटी एकदम आहे हिलियम निऑन आर्गॉन क्रिप्टॉन.
मूवी में क्या है
तर बघा हिलियमचा ॲटॉमिक नंबर असतो 2, निऑनचा असतो 10,
बोल रहा हूँ ढूंढा एक्सक्यूज
आर्गॉनचा असतो 18, क्रिप्टॉनचा असतो
ठीक है.
तेरा मन है तो जा,
याचा असतो 54.
उड़ाने की जरूरत
ठीक आहे. त्या सोडियमने काय केलं? 3s मधला एक
कल
इलेक्ट्रॉन
बोली ना अभी
काढून टाकला, लॉस केला
उधर चल
3s मधला.
देखो मेरी कसम है
कोणाला
चल
दिला तो?
नहीं
म्हणजे Cl ला दिला. ठीक आहे.
हाँ बोल
एक इलेक्ट्रॉन
अब चल ना
गेल्यानंतर
भाई.
काय होतं? 1s2 2s2 2p6 आणि याचं
तो फिर
कॅल्क्युलेशन करा.
घूमने घूम के जा रहा था.
म्हणजे कोणाचं काय होतं?
अब चल. अरे यार चल ना, क्या प्रॉब्लम है देखो.
18 नंबरच्या ग्रुपमध्ये आहे.
आदर्श बोल यार.
चला
म्हणजे 10 इलेक्ट्रॉन म्हणजे कुठलेही एलिमेंट जे असतील याच्या अगोदरचे ती काय करतील, यांचं कॉन्फिगरेशन अटेंड
प्लानिंग क्यों बदलता है यार.
घेतल्यानंतर किंवा दिल्यानंतर कोणाचा कॉन्फिगरेशन
तेरा मंत्र तो चल ना.
तर समजायचं की हे स्टेबल बनलं. म्हणजे सोडियमनी एक इलेक्ट्रॉन दिला आणि काय स्टेबल बनलं. बेस मध्ये एक इलेक्ट्रॉन दिल्यानंतर काय बनलं तो
यार ऐसे ही मुंह सड़ाना है.
ये लोग मराठी में बात करते हैं तुम्ही
कळतं का?
ठीक ठाक.
आणि हा जो काही आयोनिक बॉन्ड आहे, आयोनिक बॉन्ड म्हणजे काय असतं? Actually,
मराठी में बात करो.
everyone please चार्ज असतात, पॉझिटिव्ह चार्ज आणि निगेटिव्ह चार्ज. हे बॉन्ड जनरली आयोनिक बॉन्ड मध्ये दाखवत नाही आपण. आयोनिक बॉन्ड मध्ये हे फक्त चार्जेस दाखवतो. NaCl आणि Na+ आणि Cl मायनस, त्याला म्हणतात आयोनिक बॉन्ड. आयन दोन टाईपचे आहेत, एक पॉझिटिव्ह आयन आणि निगेटिव्ह आयन. पॉझिटिव्ह आयन कोणावर आहे? सोडियमवर आणि निगेटिव्ह आहे जेव्हा एकत्र येतात तेव्हा एकमेकांना हे अटॅक करतात. कारण पॉझिटिव्ह आणि निगेटिव्ह आहे, पॉझिटिव्ह निगेटिव्ह अटॅक होतोय, त्यामुळे हा काय बनतो येथे. त्यानंतर फॉर्मेशन ऑफ कॅल्शियम क्लोराइड.
इधर ही छोड़ दें सगळे
छोड़ रहे हैं तो अब चल ना.
उलटा जाएगा वो.
हाँ
हा
तो
बनवायचा आहे आपल्याला. बघा याच्यामध्ये हा एक एलिमेंट आहे आणि दोन काय आहेत? Cl आहे. कॅल्शियम आणि 2 क्लोरीन. याचं कॉन्फिगरेशन घेऊन घ्या. याचा ॲटॉमिक नंबर 20 आहे. यांचे 17. 20 साठी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फिगरेशन काय येतं? 3s2 2s2 2p6 3s2 3p6 6 10 8 18 किती 2 किती रेडी? 10 12 12 18 आणि 2 ओरियस असेल. आता क्लोरीन को लिहून घ्या. तुम्ही टॉपिक का नाम से तो नूर सर आएंगे सर बताएंगे. तुम टॉपिक लेकर आना. आता क्लोरीनचा कॉन्फिगरेशन माहिती आपल्याला. आता दिला तो 2s2 2s2 2p6 3s2 3p5. याच्यासाठी कसं 3p5.
All the online participants, all the online participants, please remember that
आता बॉन्ड बनतो कसा
due to some technical glitches, we are unable. So,
कॅल्शियम कडे 20 इलेक्ट्रॉन आहेत. त्याने एक इलेक्ट्रॉन क्लोरीनचा घेतला आणि या क्लोरीनचा अजून एक इलेक्ट्रॉन
टाका सर.
इलेक्ट्रॉन त्याच्याकडे 22 इलेक्ट्रॉन होते. आता या ठिकाणी कॅल्शियम हा काय सोडियम सारखा मेटल आता काही इलेक्ट्रॉन देणार क्लोरीन घेणार म्हणजे मेटल आहे तो मेटल इलेक्ट्रॉन देत असतो आणि घेतो कोण नॉन मेटल नॉन मेटल क्लोरीन मेटल कॅल्शियम आता काय होईल ओरियस मधले जे काही दोन इलेक्ट्रॉन आहेत
हॅलो
एक इलेक्ट्रॉन यातला या क्लोरीन मध्ये
दोनों को एक एक चम्मच मारो
दोनों को मैं बात करने को तैयार
दिले जाते या क्लोरीनला एक या क्लोरीनला
चल हैप्पी दिवाली
यार ऐसे क्यों
ओरियस मध्ये
करते हो?
सपोज
क्या
5 इलेक्ट्रॉन आहे
कुछ बोल रहे हो
त्याच्याकडे 5 आणि 2 किती
कोरोना बंद कर ठीक है
याच्याकडे 7
मेरा मूड खराब हो रहा है.
Now, online participants, please remember that we are now going for the next part of this session, that is pharmacophore modeling. For this, you need to have the mole file of your molecule. You can do it by using open table, else you can use ChemSketch to get it. Once you have this mole file of your molecule, you can use Python, actually PyMol, for this purpose. Okay. Now we will install the real software which is used for pharmacophore modeling using PyMol. Okay. And it is free of cost available, and that is actually a plugin named Liquid. Let me tell you about Liquid plugin. It was developed by scientists way back in 2007. It was based on Python 2, and then I was continuously using it. I have actually published paper with the help of Liquid plugin. Many of my papers have pharmacophore modeling based on Liquid plugin, and that too in high impact factor journals. And this Liquid plugin is available in Python 2. Then we actually transform it for Python 3. This is because Python 2 is no longer available. That's why you need to have Python 3 with you. But this Python 3 requires a lot of privileges. A lot of problems are there. Therefore, we as a group, we transform it into portable version. No need of installing it. Okay. Otherwise, it's very difficult to handle Python. Okay, got my idea? Now, the folder shared with you contains one folder named program, PROGAMME, programming. Get it? Somewhere in the folder, you can see another folder named programming. Okay. Just copy it and save it in your C drive. Just copy and place it. Do not play with the folder. Otherwise, it could lead to mishandling, non-working, or weird behavior. I am not then responsible. Just copy and paste it in the C drive. Only one folder, programming, PROGRAMME. Copy and paste in C drive. Did it? Do it. Okay. This was actually built by German scientists. That's why the spelling is slightly different and its functioning is also different. Okay. Now the next part, we'll open Pymol in portable Python 3.10. Somewhere you can see portable Python. This folder is there. तुम्ही सांगता का सर? Just continue. करते का सर? I'm just tired. Thank you, sir.
Now carefully observe the procedure which is performed by the muscle cell. Go to the program file. Okay. Copy this program folder into the C drive. Okay. Everyone copy it and paste it. Okay. Then everyone extract the portable Python which is available in the devel file. Okay. Everyone extract this portable Python in the same folder. One folder is provided to you which contain all the software which also contain portable Python. So you have to extract, all of you have to extract that in the same folder. It is quite big. That's why it is taking some time. It takes some time. Okay. So we have to wait. ठीक है ना, करिए ना. Yes, go on. See? Tell you how to open it. उसमें एक फाइल ओपन होता है सर, पोर्टेबल पाइथन की, तो उसको क्लिक करना है. देखते हैं आपका हो गया नहीं. अपने पास ओपन है क्या कोई? हाँ. Okay. How many of you have extracted the Python? Okay. Okay. So it is showing around 3 hours to extract complete file. Okay. So I am skipping this file. Sir, you can skip this one. And we are directly opening the Python package or Python file. Those who have extracted the portable Python, they have to observe this carefully. Okay, once you extracted the Python, okay, we'll observe the list of applications, list of menus in the extracted package. Do you find this list in your extracted material or extracted data? You have to enter into the app file. On second position, app file is available. You have to click and open the app file. And in that, Python file is also available. You have to click on or press on the Python. In that Python, PyMol is available. Shall I repeat this? Okay. We have to extract the portable Python first. Okay. In that, applications are available. Application app is available. You have to open that app. In that app, see, you have to open this app. This list of menu are available in the extracted portable Python. We have all this menu. Okay. Then you have to click on the app, which give again 3 different menus or 3 different files. Okay. Out of this, you have to select the middle icon, that is Python. Okay, everyone click on the middle icon or Python file. So in Python file, you will find this PyMol software. PyMol. You have to double click on the PyMol. Is it open or not? No. Open. Okay. Those who have fully extracted the portable Python, they only can able to open the PyMol. If it is not completely extracted, then you will face some problem while opening this app, PyMol. Okay. So just observe this procedure carefully. Those whose PyMol is running, they can implement this procedure. Now open the PyMol. Is it open in your laptop? PyMol? No? It means your Python package, portable Python package, is not yet completely extracted. किसमें किस केस में दिख रहा है वो लैपटॉप में दिख रहा है? This one is not completely extracted now. Okay. I said whose portable Python package is completely extracted, they only can able to open this PyMol. It takes a lot of time. Let it complete first, then we will see. You close this first and extract. You have open it directly. In your provided file, one portable Python package is available. Remember, listen everyone. So here, this one is working. You can see here, the PyMol is open over here. So shall we move ahead in PyMol? Okay, just observe the next step in the Pharmacophore modeling. How do we perform the Pharmacophore modeling? You have to open PyMol in the provided portable Python package. You just go to the plugin menu. Those whose PyMol is working, you have to select the plugin first. Working. Okay. काम कर रहा है. Okay. Sir. Then select the plugin manager. Click on plugin option in the top menus. Then select the plugin manager. After clicking plugin manager, one more dialog box appears. You can see this dialog box, plugin manager. Then in this dialog box, you have to select the install plugin, install new plugin. In install new plugin option, you have to choose the file. The file which is provided in the आपने जो फाइल कलेक्ट की है ऑनलाइन गूगल ड्राइव से उसमें लिक्विड प्लगइन करके एक डॉक्यूमेंट दिया है, एक फाइल दी है. We have that plugin, we have that document. Okay, so in this you have to select that liquid plugin. Okay, this document which is named as liquid underscore plugin. Okay, then you have to select that. You have to select that and you have to open that. Select and open. Now one more small window appears which indicate select plugin directory, which indicate select plugin directory, and you have to press OK. In our computer, this plugin is already installed. That's why it is revealing the plugin is already installed. But in your computer, as you are first time installing this plugin, it shows your plugin is successfully installed. Have you received this type of message? Those whose panel is working? Now the plugin is Pharmacophore plugin or liquid plugin has been successfully installed in your firewall package. Shall I repeat this once again? Okay. All of you provided with a portable Python package. Everyone, yes or no? Yes. Okay. So after that, you have to extract that package. It is RAR file. Okay. So you have to click on the right side. It will. You have to select the extract here. Then it's Sir, is it working?
Yes, sir.
App आहे त्याच्यात. Okay. आपका हुआ है? Actually, we have not find any compatibility with the Windows 11. Okay, it is compatible with the Windows 10. I'm not sure about Windows 2007 also. Okay, we were working in the 2010 only. So, झालं का बेटा? ओके, तुम्ही मी सांगितलं तिला त्यांच्याकडून घेऊन घ्यायचं. ओके. Sir, do you have in area? Okay. Okay. Oh. Please. You are working on dynamics. I do work on dynamics, molecular dynamics simulation, and MGBS also. Yeah, you come to my college, Dr. Rajendra Good Institute. We have a lab, CAD lab, small lab. Huh? It is behind the Amravati University. Yes, yes. Oh. Where you are working there? Okay, you are doing full-time PhD. Under whom? Okay. Okay. He is brilliant person. My guru also. Yes. 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 Let me check other also. Huh? As well as also. Okay, Pymol is working. Select liquid plugin. Okay. Okay. Press OK. Okay. Okay. Press OK. Close this one. Madam, is it going in your? Okay. Pymol is working finally. Okay. What about yours? Okay, Python. Okay. So it must be here, na Pymol. It means maybe extraction of blue, but it is not completely downloaded or something like. Okay. It must be there, na. If you observe in madam laptop, it is there. That's why she can able to open. Sir, तुमचं झालंय? Extraction चालू आहे तुमचं. झालंय तुम्ही केलेले लिक्विड प्लगइन इंस्टॉल? Okay, go to the plugin. Plugin manager, yes. Install new plugin. Use file. Go to the provided folder. तो जो folder दिया ना उसमें liquid plugin है. Liquid plugin करते हैं. Liquid plugin. हाँ. Open. Okay. Okay. Now it is installed. Close this dialog box. Close this one.
And then
Now, again go to the plugin, legacy plugin. Legacy plugin. Now, here it is installed. Okay. You can perform Pharmacophore modeling now.
then after starting
Expect
so here once you start time mode, you have to, when first time you use liquid plugin, you have to install it. For installation, go to plugin, then plugin manager, then install new plugin, then choose file, then go to the folder where liquid plugin 3 is being given. Double click on it, then say OK. It will be installed and it will work now. Now in your machine, how it is there. Okay. Got it? Now we'll use it to generate the Pharmacophore model because the time is running. Okay. We'll go next part. So for using liquid plugin, you need to have your molecule inside Pymol. I'll drag and drop one molecule for this. आप कौन सा molecule है? ठीक है ना? Whatever molecule. Unable to initialize. So just drag and drop your molecule in Pymol, or you can open it from file. No? File and open. You just need to have your molecule in Pymol. Drag and drop is a better idea. Because the molecule, whichever you have actually converted from smiles to mole. Okay. Okay. So remember, whichever molecule you have drawn using ChemSketch or OpenBabel, and you saved it in mole file format somewhere in your machine. Okay. Now use it to generate the Pharmacophore model. Here we have the 2D structure of aspirin. It's not properly optimized. It is 2D. It is on the desktop, and we have opened it just by drag and drop in Pymol. Okay. Only single molecule should be there. That is preferable. Not two molecules. The machine can handle one molecule at a time. Otherwise, it will get confused. only one molecule should be in your 5-mole window. Okay. Keep in mind, only one molecule in 5-mole. Plugin मध्ये जाऊन install करा ना. Liquid plugin. Something पुन्हा एकदा repeat करा. So if you open it, now go to plugin, then go to plug in. In plugin, please, in plugin, then go to legacy plugin, then there is option liquid plugin, click on it. Yes, one more option will appear, that is compute Pharmacophore model. So we went to plugin, then legacy plugin, then liquid plugin, and then compute Pharmacophore model. As soon as you will click on this, you will get the model. Click on it, and you will see some spheres are there, semi-transparent. Green color means hydrophobic area of the molecule. Red, hydrogen bond acceptor. Blue, hydrogen bond donor. Molecule open. Molecule should be. Molecule open. Right click. Icon, portable icon. Which is different. So you cannot use while downloading. So some people have got the Pharmacophore model. The green color is for hydrophobic area, water repelling area. Red, water, hydrogen bond acceptor part. Okay. Depending upon the molecule, it could be spherical in shape or elliptical. If it is highly long, elongated part, it will be elliptical. You can see, since I am very much acquainted with this software, I can change everything, but right now this is very good for you. Now in paper, you can show this. This is the Pharmacophore model for my molecule. This image is actually showing part of your molecule, which is hydrophobic or lipophilic in nature, hydrogen bond donor, and hydrogen bond acceptor. The green is for lipophilic part. On the screen, you can see it is not located exactly at the center of ring. It is slightly away from the ring. This shows that the lipophilic part is pointed slightly toward the bottom on one side. Got it? Some people have correctly did this, and they are with the Pharmacophore model for their molecule. This molecule to open kara. Mole file. Now, in case of 5-mole liquid plugin has given the output. Now, this is one figure. This can be used to generate number of images for the molecule. Another image, that means you are discussing about the hydrogen acceptor part of the molecule, where it is located. So this is another image. Now if suppose a particular point you want to discuss, you can Do that. Okay, suppose you are concentrating on something else. Okay, so this is how you can have different images of the same molecule. One more thing. Now this is very interesting molecule. I'll show all. Now go to wizard. In wizard there is an option measurement. Wizard measurement. So please, and we can calculate the distances between atoms. How much the distance? But for this, the molecule should be optimized 3D. If it is correctly optimized, you can get the correct distance between the different types of atoms. Okay, we can do it. Doctor, sir, please. Now it's actually calculating, selecting one atom and the second atom. You can see the distance 4 point something. So almost a distance of 4 angstrom is present between the lipophilic part and the H bond acceptor. So in next molecule, try to have such a distance. You can calculate as many as possible. You can use anything from anywhere. Sir, second. Okay. There is no limitation. But you'll see that differences. Yes. Third one, sir. We are getting almost approximate numbers because molecule is 2D in nature, not 3D. In 3D, we will get much better, much better. जमलं का सर थोडं थोडं कुठचे कुठचे save it mole, save, then it can be used. So you can calculate the distance. What happened? हाँ ते wizard मध्ये जा wizard in wizard mean measurement for wizard for measurement of different distances. Sir, one more distance or they show them the bond angle. Bond angle. Now, instead of distances, you can measure the angle. One more option is there. Okay. Can you see the distances? Then now we'll go for the angle. We can calculate the angle between the 3 different groups or 3 different atoms. See, in case of molecule, angles and distances are very important. In case of protein, torsion angles, we are trying to identify the which part of the molecule is responsible. So in case of aspirin, now we know the benzene is acting as lipophilic part. That means it will give it the property to travel through the cell wall. Okay, and the rest of the groups are acting as hydrogen bond acceptor or donor. So they are more lipophilic in nature, more water loving, because water is more hydrogen bond loving. Okay, so one part of the molecule is responsible for lipophilic character, other is for water loving part. So it is a good balance of the two. Therefore, aspirin can travel very well inside human body and it can show its effect. Such a combination of such a balance of lipophilic and hydrogen bond donor or acceptor is required. If it is absent in a molecule, it will show you side effects. Okay, so keep in mind whenever you have some molecule, any molecule, it should have dual nature. Because as I told you, every molecule will have to travel in the body, and our body is made up of cells, Cell means cell wall, which is very lipid loving, and cytoplasm, which is almost water. So balance of the two is required. That's why when we develop a molecule, we concentrate on pharmacophore and we identify. And when we identify, now we know in case of aspirin, which is very good drug for headache, the lipophilic part is situated one-sided. So when next time what I will do, I will create a molecule, develop a molecule in which the lipophilic part is one-sided and H bond acceptor or donor is on other side. Okay, this is called as pharmacophore modeling. And why it is acting as a drug? This is because the acid, actually the oxygens, they are actually acting as H bond acceptor more in nature than donor. So now we have a privilege for H bond acceptor pattern, not a donor, because even though acid group is there, but it is not acting as H plus donor, it is acting as H plus acceptor. So with the help of such type of information, we can mold a molecule to become a drug. Got my point? So pharmacophore modeling is considered the third pillar of computer-aided drug designing. We get a lot of information. Now there is one server, I will tell you, which can give you this type of images, but when you do it at your home, most of the time these servers are busy. As we observed in case of PKCSM, it took a lot of time. So instead of depending on someone, let's work at home, be more independent. Okay, and then if suppose you want to change something, you cannot do in case of server, but at home you can play. If you read about this Pymol, you'll see that it's the number one choice. Almost all Nature paper. Nature, have you heard the name? By mistake, I have published only one paper in it. Okay. So in case of Nature journal, they are using docking and pharmacophore modeling, and they are using Pymol family. Almost all images generated in this area are with the help of Pymol. So Pymol is very, very useful. Got my idea? That's why I'm also using it. You're more lucky than others. You got it correctly. Magical man. Once a mandir gaye the bhai. Okay, so some people are lucky enough or actually smart enough to get it. Okay, okay, did it correctly. So now you can see there is elliptical one, not the circular one or spherical one, indicating larger group of part. And one more thing, I request Javakar sir to delete all this and then let's go for the surface area. This is because in different papers you will see surface area representation. That also gives you idea. Show. Just show. So here you can see the surface area. But surface area will give the shape of the molecule. You can see the shape of the molecule. What type of shape it is? You can see it is not perfectly round. No. Then distorted shape. Yes, set some parameters to visualize it correctly. See the greenish part. Can you observe? Greenish part is for hydrophilic or lipophilic part located on one side, the bottom. The red part, it is also indicating the H bond acceptor region. So if you are unable to do pharmacophore model, you can use surface area representation. This is molecular surface area, and then it is also available in the form of numbers. If you go to A for action, then compute. No, sir. Lower ABC. Click on A of ABC. A of ABC. ABC 0. A of ABC. Everything. Now, my dear friend, when you write a paper, you present every number. Okay, so we'll go for A. Then the last option is compute. Then there is option of surface. So please click on surface area and go on molecular surface area. As soon as you click, you will see a number. Yes. The number will appear here. See, 162.234 angstrom unit square. This is molecular surface area in terms of number for aspirin in 2D, not in 3D. So here we got the number. So whenever we are talking about molecular surface area, we have to represent it in number. Okay. Keep in mind, when you write a paper, quality research paper, they demand data. Not only data, interpretation data, why this 160 is appropriate. Okay. As we know, according to Lipinski, it should be around 150. Okay. And it's very close to it. That's why it's a good drug. Not a perfect. Aspirin is not perfect. It's a good drug. No drug is perfect in the world. Because of this, we can say that we have achieved the pharmacophore modeling. Molecular surface area. Now we can compute and we can show. Now we know the meaning. Okay, so a lot of commercial softwares are there. They can also give you this. But when it comes to writing the paper, you cannot write the name of the software. You have to pay for it. So there is a problem of license, money, and everything. Pymol is completely free. So today we actually use only free software. If you use the word that I have used Pymol in my research work, no one is going to ask you about the license or other aspects. Happy? Thoda happy. As I said, one day is not enough to make you expert. It is just to spark, to ignite you for the technique. And you might have observed that actually I bypassed all the computational techniques. No quantum mechanics, nothing, direct result. Okay, so with the help of this technique, now we have arrived at certain conclusion. No need of having any idea about BFT. It's okay. We are not quantum chemists. We are chemists. We are drug designer. We can design it. So for designing, we don't need to have a thorough knowledge of quantum mechanics. Okay, a little bit of knowledge is good and more than sufficient. Any question? This is because 5 p.m. Just go to file and then open. It's a very tough job. Or you can drag and drop. Drag and drop the mole file in the window of any other tough question? Sorry? Error. Error. Those are error not because of this. This is because inappropriately or incompletely downloaded file will give error. That's homo domo. It's different. Okay, so in case of molecule, we can use different parameters. It will give the value. Yes, go on molecular. Got it? Very good. No need of synthesis. The last one more question I received, sir, for what synthesis? What I told you in the beginning that USAR or these techniques are not theoretical. Today we did everything for aspirin. Do you think aspirin is theoretical molecule? No, it is theoretical. It is nowhere in existence in the world. Then you will say Merson is foolish. Aspirin is in the market. So we actually analyzed and found the reason why it is a good drug. Which part of the molecule is responsible for its activity? The lipophilic part and the hydrogen acceptor part. So regarding synthesis, we follow only one rule. Use only synthesized molecule, which how do you report it? Actually synthesize and then characterize correctly with the help of different factor technique and then use it for your further study. Never use any imaginary molecule. I'll never say to go for this. One more thing. If someone has synthesized it, reported it, definitely he or she is an organic chemist and they have very little knowledge of this technique. Okay? Even if they have reported such properties, still you will report it because you have done this by using some other technique. Okay, you are analyzing. So synthesis is not an hurdle, not at all. What we did, synthesized molecule, fully characterized, even the biological activity has been determined in advance. That's why I said everything is not theoretical, it is more practical. So the general source for such type of work is Journal of Medicinal Chemistry. I prefer Journal of Medicinal Chemistry to download the paper. They report the Smiley's notation, biological activity, characterization, everything. But they never report such things. Okay? And if you have not done this, we can do this. So I think this is sufficient because we have time limit. Up till now, we have tried to cover a lot of aspects, but due to time bound, we have not touched the main crux of QSR and docking. But the software is with you, NRG suite. Those who have actually installed NRG suite the last part of the day, it is free to use. You can learn it of your own by reading the manual, but the installation is the most toughest part. Most very tough. But there is one simple solution in it. Shall I give it to you? Install the energy suite. Then go to Pharmol. Okay. Go to Pharmol. Then go to plugin. Go to plugin. Then go plugin manager. Go to plugin manager. Let me show you. So I'll go here, plugin manager, install new plugin, then choose file. A new window will pop up. Then I'll go to C drive, and in C drive, I'll go to program file. Here, energy suite is lying somewhere. In energy suite, I'll go to plugin. Okay, let me repeat. What I did, I went to plugin manager, install new plugin, then choose file, click on this, a new window will appear, go to C drive, then program files, then the folder of energy suite. In energy suite there is plugin, and here lies the file which you need to double click only. Okay, as soon as you will double click on it, energy suite will be available in your Pharmol for work. That is the only catch. We found the solution very diligent. So I will select it and open it. It will install it. I'm not installing because I have already installed it. So after installing, it will be available as a plugin in your Pharmol. Do it. but you'll have to first install NRG suite. Okay. What is it? What is it? Yes. प्रोडक्शन सर्वर दिया था बंद रहता प्रोडक्टरी मध्ये करून देतात आणि ऑनलाईन 5:30 बजे परत करावं आपको सर्कल लेकर वहां पे काय म्हणते जातो म्हणते काय कारण हॅलो बंद करायचं तर एक काम
Good evening, everyone. and the with from second year, taking the opportunity to take welcome each one of you to the scientific function of today's workshop. This is immensely exciting for our listeners. On behalf of the Institute, I formally welcome the speakers of this scientific function, Dr. Alex Sanderson and Dr. Thakur. I welcome the resource persons of today's program, Dr. Sanderson and Dr. Rahul Sanderson. And I also welcome all the guests of today's program. A warm welcome to the first time of all present and welcoming the teachers in the part of effort. So, first of all, I would like to request Dr. Vijay to welcome the chairperson of today's program on the digital factors at the Society Center of Technology. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request Dr. Thakur to welcome Dr. Alex Sanderson. Now, I would like to request Dr. Vijay to welcome Dr. Thakur. Now I would like to request Dr. Thakur to welcome Professor Dr. Vijay. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request Dr. Vijay and welcome Dr. Thakur. Thank you, ma'am. We were around enormously successful people, we realized that this country isn't an accident, it's about this hardware. Hence, now I call upon Dr. Vijay for the introduction of our resource person and giving the opinion about this workshop.
Good evening to all of you. So, with the collaboration with the Vidya Bharati College, Amravati, and our college organized one-day international symposium from workshop, that is sophisticated chemistry technique, computational tools in chemistry. Some days ago, I and Dr. Masan was traveling in a car with Dr. Tompe, and suddenly the idea comes in our mind. Suddenly, idea comes in our mind that something should be done, like a training should be done about the chemistry. What is happening, new happening in the chemistry, corona period. Most of us are suffering from different types of uh, educational problems. Online meetings are there, and most of the people during the corona and before corona and after corona are trying to enhance their technical skills. So most of the teachers and young teachers become the technicians. That the execution of this idea to organize a workshop plus training program was strike in our mind, and we execute it in within 2 and 3 days. So that I have shared the link on Sunday, and within 2 days we got numerous responses, that is near about 200, 250 responses in within the 2 days. So we came to know that the young faculties are eager to know, eager to learn about the computational field. So in future, after Diwali, we are also going to organize the different types of training programs. It might be on the computational field, it might be on the practical in chemistry, or in our organic topic. So it should be like a training type of thing. So lab training also there in my mind. The lab training, lab session, computational sessions are there. So we will execute in future. But thank you to Dr. Masan sir and thank you to Dr. Zawarkar sir who came here and give us a training. And if you can execute, you can explore. This is a simply a short clip. It is a reel. Today's function is a reel. So we have to make a picture by joining our reel. So I think I must introduce due to the lack of the time. I have that part is in keep that the introduction of today's resource person have missed. So today we got two very talented personalities and resource persons and Dr. Basan sir. He is a friend of very good friend of mine. So Dr. Basan sir, having 18 years of teaching experience and published many papers in a field in elsewhere, nature, picture, wildlife, frontier, 65 papers of his credit was in a Scopus, SCI, and Web of Science. So it is a big achievement for him. And he also encouraged me to do a different thing. So that is another part. 7 papers of his recognized by the WHO during the corona. 7 of his papers. So that is another one of the his achievement. So our second trainer or resource person is Dr. Gavaskar sir. When I call him, he just answered me, sir, yes, I am coming to the symposium workshop. So that shows of that person. So Dr. Javadkar sir is also an associate professor having 14 years of experience, and he having in elsewhere 20 years, Vijay, Taylor and Francis in computational chemistry. Both are the expertise in the computational chemistry. And WHO also cited Dr. Javadkar sir's performance. So I think, and both the resource persons that join us from online, Dr. Abhinav Kumar, he is a marvelous in his research throughout his career because he is having near about 200 research papers, and he is doing very thing at a time because I am in continuously contact with them from last 17 years. So he always tell me that do this, that, this, but due to the lack of facilities, we are unable to do the things at a rural level or urban level. But I think that today's workshop will be beneficial for all of you and to encourage the young generation is the most important thing in India because we always think that there is a lack of facility, we cannot do this thing here, we cannot do this thing there. So expel out from that from your mind. You can do a lot of things within the limited facility and within the limited space. So go with that. Another person that resource person that she joined us, Vaishali Patil madam from the Ghaziabad. She is also well-known researcher in the pharmaceutical chemistry and computational chemistry. She has published a number of papers and books. These two persons also publish books also in elsewhere and big training. So all of the 4 resource persons that we invited, they are brilliant, they are excellent in their field. So, on the behalf of them, I will tell you that if you have any problem, you can call them, you can communicate them on email, on WhatsApp, and on Telegram. There are different media resources are available. You can anytime call them or give him a message. They will definitely reply. So, with this, I think Dada, this is the beginning of a new prospect in our college. That is under the collaboration we are going to organize the different activities with the different colleges, and it is not beneficial for our college, but it is beneficial for other colleges also, other participants. And the idea behind this symposium plus workshop is that to be a free, to make it a free, that we want to check type of which type of persons want to join. So we got a lot of response from the abroad. We got a lot of response from national level and from the university teachers to the research students. So I think we do a little thing You have to do a big thing and bigger thing, and you have to do a best thing. So I will not take much time. I will stop here, and I will thank you to all the resource person, Dr. Abhinay Kumar, Dr. Vaishali Patil, Dr. Masan sir, Dr. Javadar sir. Please do come in our colleges. Please do come in a remote colleges and explore the future, explore the students. And thank you very much to all.
Thank you, sir. If you look at we will see that every person in the history has been immortalized by his own achievement. Accomplishment makes the man. Accomplishment teaches the man to reach the sky. King Sadhguru Vamsai said, "You are the architect of your life." And we have this personality who believed in his own achievement and grown up with his great achievement. Now it's time to felicitate such delicate personalities. So first of all, I would like to request all the dignitaries on dais to felicitate Dr. Thakur sir by giving shawl memento and thank you everyone. Now I request all the delegates on the dais to felicitate the Professor Ram. Now I request all the delegates on dais to felicitate Dr. Vijay Mansar by giving shawl memento and bouquet. I also request all dignitaries on dais to felicitate Dr. Rahul Ravakar by giving shawl memento and thank you everyone. Now I would like to request the chairperson of today's program, Dr. Bhaskar to guide us on this topic.
या केमिकल शिवाय तयार होऊ शकत नाही. आणि ऍक्च्युली आपल्याला बेसिक तयार करणे आहे किंवा अतिशय सुंदर कार्यक्रम फॉरवर्ड करण्यासाठी आमच्या सगळ्या मनामध्ये आला प्रत्यक्षात सकाळपासून होतो आहे आणि आपण सगळे सातत्याने तो बघत आहे की आपली भरपूर विषयाच्या कार्यक्रम पाहत आणि दुपारी 2 वाजता मला तुमच्या सगळ्यांचे की आपण सगळे लोक पूर्ण वेळ या माहिती आपण घेतली त्याबद्दल तुमच्या सगळ्यांचे मनापासून आभार मानतो आणि या आज या ठिकाणी पूर्ण वेळ आपल्या सगळ्यांना पाहिजे मार्गदर्शन केलं त्याबद्दल सगळ्यांचे आभार मानतो आणि मुलांचा आभार खूप खूप शुभेच्छा धन्यवाद.
Thank you. Now I would like to give Dr. Raj I hope this workshop will be useful. We would like to know how it was since I think anyone among participants and users to share their views on the workshop. Now I call Dr. Vijay So I call upon Dr. Vijay to share their views on the workshop.
त्याच्यावरती आम्हाला सरांनी सगळ्या भाषा सांगितलं प्रत्येक गोष्ट असे
Thank you, sir. Now I call